Hello everyone, welcome to the Lisp tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be mostly focusing on the basics of Lisp just to be able to help you navigate around the homeworks and mainly the installation if you haven't done that already. There are many ways of installing Lisp, but the way that I show is just one of them, so don't worry if you've done something else. Since I have the Windows laptop, I'll be demonstrating it on Windows. But I'll try to comment on how we can do it on Linux and Mac, so you can do it parallelly or simultaneously. It's going to be kind of similar and straightforward, but the only difference would be using apt-get for Linux or going through the regular installation on however it works on Mac. So if you have to learn more about Lisp, then you can just check a few tutorials online or on YouTube. Or this website really has a lot of good tutorials. It will show you how the things are usually. So like this is a function in Lisp. Lisp is basically, this terminal is a part of common Lisp where the icon is of a menorah. That is the official GNU Clisp. So everything in Clisp, common Lisp, is inside a list. So this is basically a list where if you do plus 10, 5, it should return 15. And that's because this is in a prefix order where the operand comes after the operator. And it could go in any way. So like say if you do divide by and the value, and then you add, say, let's say 10 plus 10 and 2, just getting used to it. So this would basically mean 10 plus 2, 12 by 4, 3. That's right. So this is how you'll be using Clisp in general. When it comes to functions, you'll be declaring a function like this inside the list. Notice this. And whatever you want to add inside it. If you want to print something out to the console, you're going to have to either use write, or you can use format T, or you can also use the print function. You can just look up the syntaxes online. Another thing I want to talk about is conditions, if, else, when, case. Mostly I'll just talk about if because it will be useful for you all. So in if, you have it inside a list, you have the condition first, you have the true action. So say action 1 is if this, then this, and the else comes after that. So if this happens, then this, or another example would be if this, then this, else this. So that way, just remember that this is the format in which if else usually works in this. Apart from that, you can just go over anything that is required for the homework. So if you just check anything out, it's a pretty good tutorial in that way. Coming back to the installation, Lisp is usually preferred to be used using the GNU Emacs, but you could use any text editor of your own choice. It could be VS Code, it could be Sublime, it could be Atom, whatever you feel, you just use any of them. For Mac users, you might have to use Aquamacs if you're looking for a GNU Emac for Mac. And the installation is pretty straightforward. You just install it, and like any other Mac application, you just add it to the application folder and you can start using it. But coming back to the Windows version for it, you can just use this SourceForge folder. I can share it with you all if you all like in the comments. And then you just click on this download version. It will install the 7Z version. In Windows, it comes as just give me a second. Yeah, it'll come back as a zip folder or a tar folder, and you can just unarchive it out here. You can extract it out here, and you'll open a file like this. Go into the binaries and go all the way down. You'll find this. When you click on this, it'll open up the run Emacs the file, and you get something like this, which opens up. You can create a new file, you can open an existing file, or any of these functions you want. Usually what I like to do in Emacs is always use the two keys. That will help you using the cut, paste, copy, paste, anything of those keys. And another important one is highlight matching parentheses, because when you are using curly, you're using a lot of nested lists, so it will be pretty helpful. Coming back, yeah, so you click on this, you can create a shortcut and take it outside, like how I have just created this one shortcut outside, so that it's easy to access rather than going all the way into the binaries. So that ends the Emacs installation part of it. Coming to the Lisp installation, so there is this SourceForge link that I found for Lisp as well. And I prefer to use the exe one because it's a pretty straightforward installation. You don't have to unarchive anything. You don't have to do anything about it. It just automatically adds everything to the path. The big.exe, it's already got a few libraries as well, which will be useful for us. You could use the old method, the original one, where you can just install it. Like this one tells us to use how we can use the link and use the latest version, the 2.49 one. You go all the way down, you can install, you can add two paths, you can install it for a specific user, and then run it and see if it works everywhere or not. The only issue that I found with the 2.49 version was it's not very compatible with Slime for Emacs. So that is why I prefer using the 2.48 big exe. But if you're not using Slime and Emacs, then I don't see why that should be an issue. It's totally up to you all. So you click on this, it'll again load and it'll show you a download that happens. And once you download it, you get something like this, an exe application. Double click on it, you will get this sort of an installation guide, but for 2.49. You just keep doing next. You can add to path, preferably add to paths so that you don't have to do it manually. Once that's done, you will get something like this. You'll get this folder. Now, about this exe installation, this installer has some bug in it, which is causing a file, the svm.dll, to get installed in the wrong one. So just pay attention to this. You will find this file in this folder, the lib.svm folder. You can just copy paste it back into the full directory. So this is where it belongs, inside the full one. So just copy it back there. Once that is done, you can find this icon that you will find in your start menu. And you just click on it and it opens it up for you. All of this comes from the quick list part of it, which I'll just explain now. But before that, for Linux and Mac users, the Slime installation is, the Clisp installation is not that easy. You won't just get an installation. You'll have to download the source. You'll have to download the binaries. You have to do all of that manually. But eventually, after that, everything gets straightforward. In Linux, you're just going to use apt-get and apt-install, and it'll happen pretty good. So you don't have to worry about that. So here we'll be using Steelbank Common Lisp and not the regular Common Lisp that we were talking about in Windows. Although it's kind of same, and you'll be just untarring and using the install.sh and not the exe. Once you'll understand when you get it done. When you untar it, you'll find an install.sh file, which you can just run. And something similar might appear for you all on Linux and Mac. I don't know how it will look, but hopefully it'll look the same. Coming to QuickLisp, Quicklisp is something similar to, say, Conda or NPM, but for Lisp, it'll give you all the prepackaged packages, anything that you require, any sort of packages or anything will be provided by this. So let's look at how we can install Quicklisp after all of this is done. So say we have one of these terminals that we open up for the Quicklisp terminal, and I have created this document where we can know. So what you do first is you go to the place where you downloaded it. So for me, this is here. This one, quicklisp.lisp. So I'm going to go to that specific path and I'm going to do load lisp. It won't work for me right now because I've already done it before, but if you're seeing it for the first time, then it'll load for you well. So it's already loaded, so that is why it did not do the regular quicklisp instead the format that we would have done. The next step is this one, but if you want to add it to a specific path, say you want quicklisp in eDrive like me, then you can just do quicklisp-quickstart install and add the specific path to it. If you don't do it, if you don't write the specific path, then by default it's going to go to your $home or your home directory. For Windows, it would be your when you go in this PC and you go to your users and your first user that is there. So it'll be right there. So let's say if your user is whatever your name is, you'll go to that specific folder. But since I wanted to a different path, so I've specified it to a different path. Again, so once you install it somewhere, you cannot reinstall it anywhere else. It does not allow you. So it says that these are the ones that are already available, so it won't install again. Say all of this happens, all of this is done, and we're good to go. After that, you can add this. So like how you would have done like an npm install. You're going to do a quick load for ieee-floats, which will help your mathematics part of it. So any float to double to float, any sort of conversions, anything that you need. Since I already have it, it's going to just say that, hey, I'm just loading it and it's already done. Otherwise, you're going to have like some sort of a long list of installations that happen, and then you just reach something like this. Another important thing is to create this file, your configuration file. I have created it in my user, so in my names user. You could create it wherever you want it, but if you just use this add-to-init folder, this command, add-to-init command, it will add it out here inside your user. Now, what it contains is basically it tells whenever Lisp starts, the Lisp terminal starts, it tells it that, hey, when you're starting it, you also want Quicklisp to be a part of your terminal. So it allows Quicklisp to interact with your terminal, basically. For Windows specifically, if you're looking at this, then you're going to have to add these commands to detect temporary files. For some reason, they had some issue with temporary files in Windows, but don't worry about it. This will get rid of it. If you want, I could add this to the comments or the description. Do let me know, or maybe I'll just add it by default. That'd be better. So that gets done. Once that is done, you see that I mentioned about slime. So slime for Emacs is basically where Lisp is used. So let me just show you the where is it? I'm going to open this tab now. Give me 1 second. So this is the interactive mode for Emacs that I mentioned about before. So you just take a look at it. I will not be teaching you much about it, but I can always teach you how to install it and how to get it linked with your Emacs. So by default, you cannot just be like, hey, I want to download Slime for Emacs. Okay, you have to install it. And since we have Quicklisp, it makes it much more easier. So once you're done with this step, this one where you've installed Quicklisp already and it's gone to that specific folder, you just have to go to wherever it was. So say for me, it was in my inside this folder. So out here, and you see this slime helper. This is what's going to help us install Slime. I'll go to my terminal and I'll just copy paste this command on my Clisp terminal. And since again, so I've already installed Slime before, so it's not going to do much about it. It's going to just be like, hey, you already have it. So once you do this, once you have Slime installed, you have it loaded onto your PC. What you're going to do next is you're going to go open Emacs, any one Emacs one, and the command is Control X to get into that specific mode. Then you Control F will help you find that specific file. Now, what I want to do is I want to go to my Emacs internal settings where it was created. So I'm just going to do ~dot Emacs. And yeah, so I've already written this command, but you need to add this command to your tilde file. And so the command is Control X, Control F to find your specific location. Then do ~/.emacs. And open this one up. Just copy these lines. So you notice that you need to specify the path wherever you installed Quicklisp in step 2. So wherever this was installed, you need to mention that. And once that is done, you can just save it, you can close it or do whatever you like. And once that's done, all you need to do is the next time you start your Emacs, Alt-X will take you to this meta version. And out there, you can just type Slime and press enter. It's going to do some mumbo jumbo and it will open up. Yeah. So when you see CL user, then that means you have entered the Slime mode, the interactive mode for Emacs. And that will help you finish your installation. So once that is done, we have installed Emacs, we have installed clisp. Now, how to check if your clisp has been installed correctly? So I have a few examples. Say you don't want to use Emacs, you used something else. You used VS Code or you used anything else, any other text editor. And you want to run it on the terminal. So how are you going to do that? So you're going to open your terminal. You're going to type clisp space the file name. So for me, the first one's hello world, and inside that, all I'm doing is printing foobar. You're going to see foobar. You want to take a look at it. Oh yeah, by the way, you could even use Notepad. Notepad is pretty cool. It doesn't affect it at all. I've written format T. You could have written print. You could have written write line. And then the string, something. You can have, what else? There are a lot of ways in which you can format and print text. So you can do any of those. What else? So clisp, new func. This is how you run a Lisp code on your terminal. But notice that this will only work if clisp has been added to your path, your original path in your environment variables. So I'm not going to teach you how to do that because it's pretty straightforward. You just have to go to your environment variables. You can do change environment variables or anything inside of search, and